What is up, you amazing people? It is 100% official. You guys are awesome. I'm so glad that you guys even take the time to listen to my content. I was just thinking a second ago, like it's such an honor that you guys would watch the videos that I put out. And I think this is going to be a really good video. And I'm just kind of going from the heart on this one. So if you don't know me, my name is Brandon Forbes. I run an online coaching business that does multiple seven figures per year. And in this video, I'm going to share my heart on a couple different things. I'm going to show you how to make content that converts, content that sales, not just content that gives value. And then I'm also just going to share my heart on kind of where I've been at in this season, in this year, and just kind of summarize quarter number one. So quarter number one, first month we did like 223K, had a record month. And at the end of the month, I don't know what happened per se. I've never felt burnt out before. But yeah, like something hit me where I just started feeling really burnt out, to be completely honest with you. And this happened in the past, like when I had a marketing agency or something and I was making like 10K per month and I felt burnt out. But I've never felt burnt out while being successful, if you will, successful. And the Lord really was just working on me and still is throughout this year about one word, and it's the word why. Why do I do what I do? And is it just to make money? Because I think that was a big portion of my motives, if I'm completely honest with you. My motive was to make money, and I don't think making money is bad. And at the beginning, when I first started, the motive was mostly serving other people. And I'm still doing that, and I still have a huge heart for doing that. But at the time, I don't know what it was, like the end of January, we had a record month, and it just didn't feel like I thought it would feel. A lot of my messaging is towards established coaches, which I love working with coaches who are already established. They have a great product. They're good at coaching. They're great at sales. They just need something to speed up the process, right? Usually ads, hiring a sales manager, whatever it is, setter. And I love doing that. But I found myself not working with ideal people. And I found myself working with a lot of people who just wanted to make money. And I was like, dude, I don't need any more money right now. I want purpose. I want passion. And then I remember at this vision trip that I took, I had a notepad. It's actually down there in my backpack. I'm going to pull it out. Give me just a second. Boom. So I had this notepad, and I'll never forget. I went outside, and I just started to write and just kind of reflect over the last year and just like what God had done. And literally I wrote down like, just had 223K month, blah, blah, blah. And I was just writing to the Lord. And I felt like the Lord showed me this. My why this year is to inspire his people to pursue their God dream. The coaching business is a sign of his favor on my life, right? And then give yourself to building the kingdom, and God will build mine. So that's really what hit me, and I had this idea. I wrote it down, essentially to run an ad, if you can see there. Yeah, literally ad to Bible study funnel for Kingdom entrepreneurs. So I started a Bible study every single Monday. We're running like an ad, like, hey, are you a Kingdom entrepreneur that wants to, start giving God full reign over your business, and you just want to get around other Kingdom entrepreneurs? If so, come to our Bible study. And this week we had over 100 people on. I literally had to upgrade my Zoom account to let everyone in. And we've had like almost 50 people get saved from it now. People getting healed, set on fire for the Lord. And it's been incredible. And yesterday, and I'm going somewhere with this, yesterday we talked about in Matthew 25, the parable of the talents. And I'm going to read this really quick, and I've got some stuff I want to pull out of it for you and your coaching business, and honestly, just for you and any type of business or you as a human, right? So, parable of the talents. In verse 14, it says, "For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country, who called his own servants and delivered his goods to them. And to one he gave 5 talents, another 2, and to another one, to each according to his own ability. And immediately he went on a journey. Then he who had received the 5 talents went and traded with them and made another 5 talents. And likewise, he who received 2 gained 2 more also. But he who had received 1 went and dug in the ground and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of the servants came and settled accounts with them. So he had received 5 talents. The man who received 5 talents came and brought another 5, saying, Lord, you delivered to me 5 talents. Look, I have gained 5 more talents beside them. His Lord said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord. He who had received 2 said, look, I gave you 2 and I came back with 2 more, right? Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful, right? Then he who had received the 1 came and said, Lord, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you have not sown, okay? Gathering where you have not scattered seed. This is speaking to the favor of the Lord was on his life so much that he would reap where he had not sown. Have you ever reaped where you haven't sown? I've seen the Lord do it in my business, and I know he can do it in yours if our heart posture and our why is to build the kingdom, right? So he said, and I'm going somewhere in regards to what the Lord's doing in my life, the season of my business, and what I believe he wants to do in your life too. And he said, then he received 1 talent, came to him and said, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you have not sown, and not scattered seed. And I was afraid and went and hid your talent in the ground. Look, there you have what is yours. So he buried the money, the talent speaking to, I guess you could say money. He gave him the money and he buried it, okay? He didn't multiply it. He said, I was afraid, hid your talent in the ground. Look, there you have it. Here it is back. Here's what you gave me. But the Lord answered and said to him, you wicked and lazy servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown and gathered where I have not scattered seed. So you ought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and at my coming I would have received back my own with interest. Therefore, take the talent from him and give it to him who has 10 talents. For everyone who has more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. And he cast the unprofitable servant into the outer darkness. Okay, so this is obviously speaking about spiritual things, but there are some principles in here in regards to money and how you're stewarding your business. I want to show you what the Lord has showed me in the last few months. I am not in charge of paying my team. I am not in charge of making payroll. I am not in charge of making sure you guys join my program so I can pay my bills. God is my provider, okay? All I'm called to be is a good steward. And I'll be completely honest. Like, over the last 90 days, about 30 to 40 of them, I was, like, wrestling with, like, what's the real reason I'm doing this? And it got me in a place of not stewarding well. Not that anything bad happened. It's just, like, I feel like I haven't been as present with you guys as I used to be. And it's almost been out of a place of just, like, sitting in my thoughts. And I've still been making content, but I think people can sense that my content hasn't been as... there's a chart of consciousness. Basically, scientifically, they can prove what energy you're in. And whenever you make content, people don't get what you say. They receive who you are. That's why your coaching clients don't get results, because the person coaching them is in a bad state, right? So the content that I've been making, I feel like it's been out of a place of questioning, right, for the last 90 days. And it's still been some good stuff. But I know that the Lord, where he's called me, is another level. And I almost feel responsible for helping other people get there, to get to be the person with the 10 talents. And I'm just being completely transparent with you guys. I grew up not having a lot of money. I grew up, never knowing that this would happen. And it's been an absolute blessing. And I almost became ungrateful. Like, we did 223, like, let's do 300. Why? Like, you should ask yourself, if you're watching this video, listening, whatever, you should write down on a piece of paper later, why? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you making the content that you're making? And so oftentimes in our content, what we'll do as coaches is we'll make content that sales and content that gives value. But what people really want is content that gives insight. The reason they pay you is because they want to get what's in your head and your ability to see things a certain way into their life, into their business, right? If all you do is give them a map on what to do, they'll do it. But what people want and what people pay for is why and how you think about the things that you do. For instance, adding monthly recurring revenue to my business changed everything for me, right? I have trainings on how to do it, but people don't understand that a coaching business is literally most times set up in a way to be eating at your piece 24/7, like 24/7. You sign up a high-ticket client, people say that it's amazing, and it is, but what happens if that high-ticket client goes through all of your programs and then says they want a refund? And then you don't give them a refund, and then they, fight you and then write negative reviews, right? That's inevitably going to happen. I don't care how amazing your program is. Even Sam Evans has negative reviews. Gym launch. This will happen at scale, right? So now you have the stress of potentially, people weighing you down. And then you have the stress of your sales team. The leads are bad. No, they're not. You just aren't closing right now because you're in your head, right? And then you're spending money on ads, and then you're paying your team, and then you're paying softwares. And so a lot of people think they want to scale, but in reality, they want their why. I've found, after working with over 1,200 coaches, not everyone should make $100K per month. Genuinely. Not everyone should make 50. A lot of people just want an online coaching business that lights them on fire, where they're on fire, they have time freedom, they're making, 10 to 20 or 30K a month profit. That's another thing. So many people on the internet are making all this money, but how much are they paying themselves, right? And they want consistency. So people will have these huge months, and then they'll brand their whole business on how I make $200,000 a month as a coach. But if you ask to see their Stripe account, they made $200K 1 month, and on average have been doing 80 or 50, and then they're teaching these people how they had this record month 6 months ago. So that mixed with how I was feeling, I was like, dude, it seems like everyone that I'm in this industry with has, if you will, no morals and doesn't really care about people, except for a handful of people. And then I was like, dude, I need to find a bigger why. I need to find a reason to keep doing what I'm doing, because, just making money to fund the kingdom isn't enough for me, right, at the time. So I've kind of just figured out, dude, I'm called to help people be the man with 10 talents. And I just want to ask you, and myself, is what I ask myself, how are you stewarding the coaching business that God gave you? How long are you going to watch YouTube videos about, adding monthly recurring revenue? How long are you going to watch YouTube videos about how to hire a setter? When are you going to go from being the man with 1 talent who buried it to being the man with 5 who multiplied it? God is a God of multiplication, not just addition. Okay? God works in multiplication. Anytime He wants to bless you, it'll be in multiplication. He doesn't just add things to you, He multiplies, right? So if you want to multiply your talents and your coaching business, the best way to do that is to get seed in the ground. For some of you, that might mean tithing, paying 10% of your income to your local church. That might be being generous. I told you all the story about whenever I gave my first Rolex to my pastor, and it literally changed my view on money, my self-image. I got selfishness out of my heart, and the Lord increased my business. There's not a framework for that. It's a obedience to God, right? And if you don't have a relationship with God, that's something I would definitely encourage you to seek out. So all this stuff has been happening, and the Lord has really showed me that I'm called to help his people step into their purpose. Some of you very well might be called to make more money. And if that's the case, like, of course, we'd love to help you do that in your coaching business. But some of you might need to switch your offer. I was just talking to a client the other day. He shut down his offer, and now he's doing something in the field of relationship coaching. He was doing a marketing agency, trying to scale it in his own strength. He's literally my competitor in my program, trying to coach coaches. And he's like, dude, like, I just feel like this thing, like, I want to help people in their relationships. And boom, immediately more joy, more peace, so much happier because he's operating in his purpose. God created you with a purpose. And if your purpose is to scale your coaching business, praise God. And it very well might be. But it could be that you're trying to do this in your own strength. There's two things that you can operate in. Power, right? Power and force. You've been forcing doors open, forcing ad funnels to work, forcing new clients into your program by being good at sales, forcing people to commit to a coaching process that you don't even believe in. You're not happy. You have no consistency, no recurring revenue. You're literally always on the verge of burnout. And you're like, dude, I hate my business. And if that's where you're at, you're operating in force. You're not operating in power. Power is whenever you say, all right, I'm called to do this, and I'm calling forth clients for me to serve. I built a good product that I know the Lord has called me to do, and it's going to help people, so I just need more clients to help. I don't need more money. God is my provider. You get to, obviously you have to steward your money well. There's ways to make more money, ad funnels, all that. So it's a mixture of stewarding well, but also tying your faith to helping more people. And our primary focus should be building the kingdom, right? And I'll be honest, a lot over the past year, my focus has swayed. I feel like I've been building the kingdom, but I've definitely had some thoughts like through the lens of like, so it's just like this. If this represents making more money, right? Every decision I made was through the lens of how does this make me more money? Now, what I'm doing is this represents impact and the Lord's voice. All right? What are you calling me to do? How can I make more impact? The Bible study funnel. I don't make any money from that. I spend $100 a day on ads. And some of you listening, you're like, oh, Brandon, that's nothing to you. Dude, that's still a lot of money, right? I could be giving that to my son who scratched my face. That's why this is here, if you're watching online. But I'm telling you, if you'll say, all right, you know what? I'm going to stop looking up to these people who are just flashing Stripe screenshots and all they care about is money. That's another thing. Just because someone makes more money than you doesn't mean that you should be following them. Just because someone is ahead of you financially, but they're operating at a lower level of joy, the fruits of the Spirit, doesn't mean that you can receive from them. For instance, they have got really good at making money at that level, but they're operating outside of where you want to be operating as a human. So then you don't want to pay for their coaching. You don't want to receive from people like that. You want to receive from people who are high in these areas, right? I've learned from a lot of people who make less money than me, and I've also found mentors who operate in this area and make a lot more money than me. That's where I've had the biggest transformations. So all this to say, if you want to make content that sells, you don't give them value. You help them become who you are. So if you are an online coach, your job shouldn't be trying to get more clients for the sake of hitting revenue numbers. That's a good thing. But a better thing would be trying to help people radically change their lives. And as a result, you hit the revenue numbers. So yeah, guys, I just really wanted to bring you in on like where I've been. And I would say content-wise, I would encourage anyone who follows my page, my content, listens to my podcast, whatever, to share your heart. Share with people where you are. Share with people your struggles, right? Like this has not been an easy journey by any means. There's definitely been some amazing highs. You'll have days where you make, 25K in a day, next day, 0, and you spent a ton of money on ads and you lost money, right? So there's ups and downs. I will say MRR has definitely helped me level things out to where it's a lot less stressful, and I'm able to really just kind of focus on the overall why of your business. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to kind of drop a video. Hopefully this encourages you. I know it could sound potentially like, man, Brandon's been in a bad place. Like, no, I'm just being honest with the different things that go on at different stages, right? So if you're like, dude, everything you said just kind of hit me. I don't like my offer anymore. I feel like I'm outside of my purpose. I'm making $50K a month, but there's like no profit. I have no recurring revenue. My clients don't enjoy the program. I'm operating at a low level. And dude, I'm kind of like on the edge of burnout. I would just say book in a call and, just hop on the call. We'll kind of see where you're at, where you want to get to. I'm working a lot. I'm giving a lot of my time to working with people one-to-one right now. So I would love to, just chat with you, see if I can help get you out of that state and get you in alignment with what you're supposed to do, right? So again, some of you could be like, dude, man, I feel like maybe I should shut down my coaching business. Or maybe you're like, bro, high ticket sucks. Maybe I should switch fully to monthly recurring revenue. Maybe so. But I would just say to encourage you, because I know a lot of you do look up to us and you try and model your business and your life, after me. And I would just say the best thing for you to do is model your life after the Lord and ask him what to do. And everything else genuinely will work itself out. So yeah, guys, I hope this blessed you. I hope that, one day we'll be able to chat, get to know each other, work together, whatever that may look like. But I do want to bless you, just since this was more of like a from the heart type conversation. I do want to bless you with a prayer. So if you could, if you're not driving, maybe bow your head, close your eyes. Lord, I thank you for every single person who watches my content. God, I thank you for the coaches that we market to, that any of them who, maybe are like, man, dude, I'm stressed. I don't love my business right now. God, I pray that you would touch them, that you would set them on fire, that you would give them a why behind what they're doing, and that, God, you would supernaturally give them clarity, provision, and you would help them go from force to power, from forcing doors open, from forcing new content out of a place of scarcity into a place of power and purpose, provision. And God, I just speak a blessing over each and every person listening. And God, I thank you that the right people are going to end up in the right place in Jesus' name. And everybody said, amen. Well, guys, I hope this blessed you. And until next time.